Well, Detroit Lions fans, we're talking about James Houston today and his eventual return to the Detroit Lions. The question has been when or if, is it even possible? There's been a few channels out there saying that Houston is going to come back right away, and we've known that's just not the answer. It's not factual. And Dan Campbell even admitted that again today during his press conference. The point is, it takes the 21 window to be open before we even have a shot at knowing if Houston is going to be able to dress it to another game this season. Dan Campbell confirmed today that if they're lucky, Houston would be back at the end of December or January. So what does that really mean? If they get him back at the end of December and it's week 17 and you open up his 21-day window, even if he's ready to come back within a week of practice, and then you go into week 18, they're not going to let James Houston loose after a week of practice. He's going to need a couple of weeks to, one, get into game ready, shape and get adjusted back into the defense. But is it really going to make a difference? Are you willing to sacrifice your season, whether it be week 18 or the first playoff game, if Houston's able to make it back by then, by putting Houston back on the field when he hasn't played all season for the most part? And he's coming off a pretty gruesome injury. He has not been integrated into this defense. He has not been battling with these guys. He doesn't know all of the things that they've faced all season long. And I mean that by a player's perspective on the field, not somebody off the field watching. Of course, he knows everything that's going on. But when you are in it and you are fighting, together with your guys on the field, you learn and you adjust to each other. He has not been a part of that for at least 10 weeks now. Actually, it's been 12 weeks now. So I don't want to kill the idea of Houston taking another snap this year or even in a Lions uniform ever again, because this is his last season under contract. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't want you to rest on the fact that he's coming back. The timetable is what it is. It takes a 21-day window to open up to know when he's coming back. And then from there, he has to get healthy and prove that he can do the things on the field. And once he can prove that he can do the things on the field, then he will be elevated. But then there's the last question. Who are we going to move off the roster to make room for James Houston? That's the bigger question. I don't think that there's a question when CJ Gardner-Johnson comes back that you're going to be able to make some room with the DBs. I mean, the Lions just brought up Kendall Vildor. You have options, with it, whether it's Chase Lucas or Khalil Dorsey or Kendall Vildor, Jerry Jacobs. Just kidding. That's not going to happen. At least not yet. But I think you see where I'm going here. There's room in the DB room. There's room on the roster right now for those guys. There's not for a James Houston right now, especially with Bruce Irvin in the mix. And I'm beginning to think that Bruce Irvin was more of a security blanket for James Houston not being able to make it back. So that's what I wanted to bring to your attention today about James Houston. And speaking more about CJ Gardner-Johnson, Dan Campbell did say that CJ Gardner has been doing like double time. And if anyone has an opportunity to make it back this season and get on the field before the playoffs, it's him. CJ Gardner-Johnson put December 20th out there as the date that he would be back, but it's already December 11th. The 21-day window has not been opened. There is no way that CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to be on the field in 9 days. It's impossible. As good as he wants to think that he is, and I'm sure that he really is exactly who he thinks he is, he's going to need more than a week to get into game shape. He's going to need more than a week, going through these limited practices that they have during the season. These aren't full all-out practices. It's not like they're going in there and going 11 on 11 towards each other and really testing their strength and their mettle. They don't. So to put somebody back in the game who hasn't practiced again in about 12 weeks, it's going to take a little bit of time to earn that trust that he can really go. So again, I think that if we're lucky, we're going to see CJ Gardner-Johnson in week 18, and that would probably be his first game back. But that's still a stretch. That's 4 weeks away. That means that his 21-day window will have to open next Monday. So take a look at DetroitLions.com and pay attention to when that 21-day window opens. I'm sure you'll hear it from us first, but that's what we all have to pay attention to right now. So that's the update for today on James Houston and CJ Gardner-Johnson. And don't forget, tonight at 8 p.m., we're going to do an exclusive fan vent session. And that's exactly what it is. I'm compiling some comments, some messages, and some things that have come into me since yesterday, especially with some of the responses to the videos that have been put out. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the state of the Detroit Lions and what's kind of going on with the team, what we should expect. But I want to hear from all of you. Phone lines are going to be open within about 10 minutes when the show starts tonight. And we're going to do it on Monday Night Football and kind of watch the Green Bay game. No, it won't be on, live on my channel, but I'll have it on in front of me and just kind of see what's going on. If Green Bay loses tonight, that puts the Lions in, really in control of their destiny with having to win one more game, and it's all over from there. So we'll see you guys tonight at 8 o'clock. And as always, go in pride, go Detroit Lions. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.